Welcome back, everybody, to another amazing episode of the Fit Executive Show. I am your host, Arne, and today we're going to talk about the Law of Gestation. Okay, so what it states, what it means for your life, your business, your fitness, and whether or not you can actually speed it up. Okay, that's going to be an interesting part. I'm going to give you a couple of technical takeaways. So this last part is where it really gets interesting. Okay, before we get into all of this, quick word on what we do here at Fit Executive Co. So we work with high performing executives, entrepreneurs, basically guys who are done settling for an average body, right? Settling for average in their health when every other area of their life is pretty much on par and above average. So if you have a full bank account and a body that doesn't match the life that you've built, then I guess that's a problem, right? And we can help you solve it for good. So the Fit Executive method is designed specifically for leaders like you. So if you're interested in learning more about the method we use, head over to fitexecutive.co. And you can grab a free copy of my book, The Fit Executive Blueprint there. You can learn more about the exact system that we use to turn guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s from soft to shredded. And we guarantee results. So it's either you get results or you get a refund. It's probably the strongest, most insane guarantee in the marketplace, but it served us very well over the years. But now, let's talk about the law of gestation. Okay, so this is a universal law that states that every process, no matter what you look at in nature, it needs to go through a period of time during which it is conceptualized, okay, and then actualized. All right. So let me say this again. So every process needs to go through a period of time during which it is conceptualized and then actualized. So there's a time delay between you signing up for our program and you seeing your abs again. Okay. And if you eat an apple instead of the donut today, you won't be elite in your body tomorrow. And this impatient is probably the number one killer of most fitness dreams. And by the way, you can say the same about business, right? It's also this impatience is the number one killer of most business dreams. People start doing something for a couple of weeks and then say they see some initial progress, or maybe even not, right? They plateau at some point, then they lose the motivation because of the lack of results, and then they quit and hop on to the next program and repeat the same cycle over and over again. And everyone is looking for this magic bullet, whether that's in business or in fitness. And instead of focusing on mastering the basics and getting 1% better each day or each week even, right? If you want to learn more about this, like go back a couple of episodes where I talk about hitting singles, right? This is everybody's going for the home run, and in this episode I talk about hitting singles instead of going for the home run. But here's the example I keep coming back to, because I think it's perfect. You probably heard of the Chinese bamboo plant, right? If you plant one, you will water it and fertilize it for 5 full years without seeing a single sign of growth, right? 5 years of showing up in complete faith with zero evidence that anything is happening. And then once it finally breaks ground, it can grow 90 feet in 5 weeks. Okay, that is the overnight success story. That is what it actually looks like from the inside. So take Fit Executive Co., for example, okay, so our company. And like how we went from operating from our 1-bedroom apartment with only a handful of clients to a multi-million-dollar company with hundreds of active clients who are crushing it in a relatively short period of time. And now we're one of the fastest growing fitness companies in North America, and everything looks like an overnight success from the outside, but that story would have missed everything that came before it, right? The watering the plant part. So it wouldn't have mentioned the restaurant I've built in Germany, right? Taco Casa. I've built it from scratch. It wouldn't have mentioned the financial collapse that followed and all the business lessons that I've learned from this endeavor. Like, for example, knowing your numbers and how to lead teams, how to take responsibility. I was trusting advisors that I haven't trusted back then. Or also the years I spent rebuilding myself in the German beer industry, rebuilding my identity, my financial status, trying to figure out what I was actually meant to do. And it wouldn't have mentioned the period where I was overweight, where I felt exhausted, where I was disconnected from the person that I wanted to be, and the 50-pound transformation that eventually changed everything. But beforehand, I was going through almost 2 years of yo-yo dieting, where I made every mistake under the sun, and I'm proud of this today. So this overnight success was built on a decade of watering a plant that showed up, like, it showed zero signs of growth. Okay, for a long, long, long time. And I want you to hold that in your mind, because if you're listening to the show, whether you're taking your dog for a walk right now, or you're at the gym, maybe you're driving in your car right now, but there's a good chance that you have goals and aspirations that you're actively working toward, right? You want to make your life better. This is why you're here. You're not one of those people who are cruising in life. You're not drifting. I know you are already successful in many, many ways. You're not coasting, right? You're an achiever who wants to achieve more. And one of the most frustrating parts of that is not getting there fast enough, right? Like, I'll be honest, I still feel that. I look at the people I admire, like the mentors I follow, and sometimes I think about where I am in comparison, and I feel the gap. And I call this constructive dissatisfaction. No, not dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction is what I was looking for. So constructive dissatisfaction. We are meant to grow and we are meant to expand. Okay, and this is a basic human desire. But what we have to keep coming back to is this law of gestation. There's always a time delay between your thoughts, your actions, and you getting the actual results. And it's going to take however long it takes. And in the rest of this episode, I'm going to show you how to speed it up. Okay, but first, write this down. Put it in your phone, like, come back to it. Every time you hit a wall, 99% of people quit. And staying power is our superpower. Not only here at Fit Executive Co., but also for you guys listening here. Staying power is our superpower. If it takes me 10 years to build something that someone else built in 5, so be it, okay? Congrats to them. But I'm not throwing the towel at year 6, right? If I'm fueled by purpose, the timeline doesn't matter to me. It doesn't break me. And I'm going to keep going out there and watering my plant regardless of the evidence. And like, on any given day, I will show up because this is what I am built to do, okay? And here's what I know. Only 0.6% of all businesses ever reach $10 million in revenue. Just 0.6%. The other 99.4% don't get there, not because they lack talent or they necessarily worked less hard than I did, okay? But because obstacles came up, frustration set in, entitlement crept in, and they stopped watering the plant. And the same, this is what I also see in fitness. People give in to obstacles way too easily, okay? Instead of how can I say this? So they had no idea how close they were. Okay, Napoleon Hill wrote about this this guy who stopped 3 feet short of hitting the gold mine after he had been digging and digging and digging for years. Okay, he was so close, and then he gave up. There's actually a whole book by Shannon Lechter. It's called also 3 feet. 3 feet from gold, I think it's called, and it's talking about the same concept. Okay, the thing is, the acorn always becomes an oak tree. It doesn't become corn or an orange tree, right? It doesn't become somebody else or something else. It becomes exactly what it was designed to become, and like in however long it takes. And a positive seed planted with intention and then action, or being watered by action, does not produce a negative result. What you plant and what you water and what you take action on will grow. And that should excite you, because now the game becomes, how do I remove the negative seeds? How do I stop feeding the thoughts and the behaviors and the habits that are producing results that I don't want? Okay? And how do I start planting the ones that lead to the life that I want to build? How do I stop fear, doubt, and distraction from creeping in and keeping me from achieving my goals? Okay, so let's talk about how to actually speed this process up. First of all, environment is everything. Again, we have the three things: fear, doubt, and distraction. Okay, and when you look at your environment, like, okay, picture this. Maybe this is a better example. So picture two goldfish in two separate bowls. Okay, both fish are sick, and in one bowl you treat the fish, and in the other bowl you treat the water. Which fish heals? It's exactly right, the one in the clean water, because you solve the root problem and not just the symptom. Your environment is your water. And if you are trying to grow something extraordinary while surrounded by toxic inputs that create the fear, the doubt, and the distraction, you're constantly treating the fish instead of cleaning the bowl, right? Cleaning the water. So you want to take an honest self-audit here. What are the toxins? Who are your energy and time vampires? Who are stealing energy and time from you, right? Who are sucking the life out of you? And the biggest one, from my experience, is people. And this isn't about cutting off people you care about, but if you are consistently the most successful, the most fit, the most driven person in every room that you're in, then you're inevitably going to plateau, because growth happens by osmosis. When you surround yourself with winners, with people who are operating at a higher level, and you absorb their belief systems, their behaviors, their standards without even trying, okay, you will become more and more like them. And I've just talked to my wife and also my co-founder Grace here about this concept. We've been in a lot of masterminds over the years, and at this point we outgrew every single one of them. It's pretty awesome to see. Like the groups that we joined 3 years ago, it was a bunch of other online fitness coaches. We're now by far the biggest company there. And last week we signed up for another mastermind where we paid $88,000 to be in a room with other entrepreneurs who are bigger than us. Okay, that's the whole point there, where we are the goldfish and they are the sharks, right? Because we want to go this big and bigger and bigger. We want to help more people. We also want to make more money, right? We love money, but we also we love the vehicle that we've picked to help us create the life of our dreams. So the business model is basically help other people, and this helps ourselves, if that makes sense, right? I think Zig Ziglar said it. You can have anything you want in life if you just help enough people to get what they want. This is exactly what we are doing. So we help executives and entrepreneurs to achieve the body of their dreams, because this is what we are good at, okay? And we make a couple of $100,000 each month right now at this point, and most of the others in that new mastermind that we just bought ourselves into, they make a couple of millions per month, right? So, and this is how we grow. And this is also what you get when you join Fit Executive Co., by the way. You will be surrounded by other successful business owners and entrepreneurs who are just as busy as you, who also have a family on top of a 50, 60, 70, 80-hour work week, who travel just like you, who entertain clients just like you, who have a shit ton of responsibility just like you. And just seeing them, that they are crushing it, right? Where they could make all the excuses under the sun, hey, I'm too busy. Hey, I'm too old. Hey, I'm too young. Hey, I'm too this or too that. Not the right time, right? But as you probably know, you can either have excuses or you can have results, right? And our clients are done making excuses and they want to get the results. So they decided to choose to join Fit Executive and get the results. Okay, so just by seeing them show up week after week after week and seeing them win week after week after week, even though they have all these other obstacles in their lives that you also may have, right? Like just seeing them crushing it tells, like, your brain will notice, hey man, I can do this too. I'm not the special snowflake here, right? I'm not in a Facebook group with a bunch of housewives and 25-year-olds, and nothing against either of those, right? But they have a different life, or you have a different life than them, right? You don't have this typical 9 to 5 where every day looks the same. You have special, how can I say this, special requirements in terms of how a fitness program needs to be tailored to your lifestyle, to like the non-negotiables in your life, right? So just by seeing that this is possible to be crushing it in business and have a healthy family life and then have a body that looks like it's dripping self-respect and self-leadership when you walk into a meeting room, or you were like the fittest dad at your kid's baseball game, right? You will set new standards for yourself when you surround yourself with winners, right? If you want to be a winner, surround yourself with people who are more successful with you than you. And there was another saying that I just remember. If you want to be the happiest guy in the room, surround yourself with people who are less successful than you. If you want to be if you want to become happier, surround yourself with people who are less successful than you. If you want to win more, surround yourself with people who are more successful than you. Okay, so our clients probably are by now, like not all of them. Obviously, we have people who just got started, but if you go to the people who have been with us for a couple of months and you see them, okay, 40s, 50s, 60s, a year old, having a six-pack, running a business, having a family, like they check all of the boxes, right? And success leaves clues. This is what the message here is. Learn from other guys who already got what you want and join the right masterminds if you want to shortcut your success. Okay. And as one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, said, proximity is power. So whether that's in your business or in your fitness or in every other area of your life where you want to win more, level up your environment. It's a key. Okay. Treat your water instead of eating the medicine. Then check your health. What you're eating, how you're sleeping, how you're moving. This is your physiology and your I should have picked another word for this. Physiology. There you go. Your physiology determines your energy, your clarity, and also your capacity to execute. Okay, if you're running on poor nutrition, poor sleep, no movement, your environment is working against you. And then measure what matters. You wouldn't run your business based on feelings, so why would you run your body or your health without it, right? So what you need to track when you want to drop fat, you will need a calorie deficit, right? 1 pound of fat, 3,500 calories. So you need per pound of fat that you want to drop, you need a calorie deficit of around 3,500 calories, right? Most common mistake that I see here is that people try to do it too quickly and they go on some extreme crash diet. And the maximum amount of fat loss per week for most cases, unless you're like over the 400-pound mark, is 1% of your body weight per week. Okay, so let's assume you're 220 pounds, then 2.2 pounds per week is the maximum. Okay, this is yeah, the maximum amount of fat loss. If you lose more weight than the 2.2 pound, the difference is being made of out of lean muscle tissue. You lose bone density, so all the stuff that you don't want. Okay, avoid this mistake by all costs. I made this mistake, by the way, so I'm just talking out of experience here. Then, if you want to add muscle, you like while you're cutting fat, you gotta lower the rate of fat loss even further. You gotta eat more calories than if fat loss is your primary goal. Okay, so then, no matter if you want to count calories or not, you gotta have an idea of how many calories is your body burning and how many calories should you be eating. Okay, we have to find the sweet spot there. And no matter if you want to count calories or not, your body always counts calories. This is the underlying principle or mechanism of how all diets under the sun work. When it comes to manipulating your body composition, you gotta understand calories. Okay, next up is protein. How much protein does your body need to support your goals? What sources that you enjoy eating the most get you to that protein target, okay? Or what meals, right, that you enjoy eating, that are available for you, that are not too complicated, that are quick and simple to prepare, okay? Then you want to track your strength training. You want to track the weight that you use and the reps. This is a key principle. The principle for muscle growth is called progressive overload. This is how muscle building works. So you gotta put on more weight or you gotta do more reps than the last time, okay? And you want to keep track of that. Otherwise, it's just guessing around and you will never remember what weight you've used 2 weeks ago. So if you don't know whether you're getting stronger, maybe many people are just fooling themselves, okay? So don't be that guy. And then you want to track your steps, because one thing that happens when you drop fat is that what's called the NEAT, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, slows down. Basically, your body reduces the amount of calories that you burn in your day-to-day life. So your metabolism slows down, if that makes sense. So if you keep track of your steps, then you can avoid this. Okay, you want to have a step count goal and you want to keep track of your steps. Then sleep. What we track with our clients and what we also optimize is your deep sleep phase, where all the repair processes take place. Your testosterone levels go up, your cortisol levels go down. A bunch of other hormones regulate your leptin, your ghrelin. One is for appetite, one is for hunger. So if you have more deep sleep, you will feel less hungry, right? And then the REM sleep is more for your mental edge. It's another thing that we optimize with our clients. The REM sleep is for memory storage, so also preventing dementia and Alzheimer from happening. It's about creative thinking, strategic thinking, long-term planning, so it will make you more productive in business. You will make faster and better decisions if you get enough REM sleep. Then we track the HRV, which reflects your body's capacity to handle stress. Okay, so we obviously want to increase your body's stress capacity. We track the weight, we track the body fat, we track the amount of visceral fat that you carry. So there's a very simple tool that we use. It's like a CEO dashboard for your body. We call it the metabolic metric scorecard, and it takes 1 or 2 minutes to fill out each day, and then 5 minutes over the weekend where we track the measurements and the body fat percentage and stuff like that. And then the return on investment is clarity, whether you are on track or not. And this way we can make data-based decisions instead of just winging it or guessing around, right? Again, you wouldn't lead your business based on feelings. You have data and KPIs that you look at, and then what you care about is the bottom line. Okay, some of our clients, especially those who need to drop the last 10, 15 pounds to get rid of this last layer of the more stubborn body fat, they sometimes gain weight, okay, but then we see through their measurements that they actually dropping fat and gaining muscle. Okay, they gain muscle at a faster rate than they lost fat. So that's oftentimes the case for former athletes who used to have a lot of muscle, and then the muscle memory kicks in. So we see their waist is getting smaller, their arms is getting bigger, or arms are getting bigger, and then we know that the bottom line that we care about, right, the fat loss and the body recomposition is actually happening. Okay, the bottom line is a profit, so to say, in your business, right? So if you want to learn more about this, how the system works, we call it the metabolic metric system, go to fitexecutive.co, and I have a bunch of videos on there, or go to our YouTube channel where I also have a lot of value material out there where I walk through all of this. Okay, but track what measures. Track these health markers so that you can make data-based decisions. And then we can also look over your shoulder, right? Once you fill in those the spreadsheet, and we can make sure that you're focusing on the highest leverage activities for your fitness. Okay, again, takes a minimum amount of time, and the return on investment is precision. Okay, so those are the two things that you want to check if you want to speed up the law of gestation. Because again, if your environment is out of whack, this will slow you down. But if your health is out of whack, then guess what? This will also slow you down, right? You have this brain fog in the afternoon. You're not performing on your highest level, and people see that in you, that you don't take good care of yourself, right? They judge you based on your appearance, and then with a fit and healthy body that drips self-leadership and self-love and self-respect, you attract better people into your environment. So that's another way of speeding up the law of gestation. Okay. A couple of other rules, like 5 rules that I've prepared for you to speed up the law of gestation. This is more about the mental game now. So rule number 1 is act in faith over fear. Because most people don't move because they are afraid to fail. And this, they are afraid to look stupid or afraid to lose the game. But you cannot wait for certainty before you act. Okay, you got to earn that certainty. You don't know exactly when your goals will materialize. But all you need to know is that they will. Okay, so I act as if I cannot fail every single day, even when there's no visible evidence that it's working. Okay, I can highly recommend this. Act as if you cannot fail, and take those setbacks that will show up. Okay, you will mess up, you will make mistakes. This is how you learn. Either we win or we learn. That's the motto over here. Okay, setbacks are lessons. All right, it's just temporary failure. It's not total failure. The only way to fail is to not start or to just give up. Okay, this is not us. We never quit. Okay, rule number 2, conviction over doubt. Similar, right? Very similar to the first rule, but you have to believe in your goals and that they are possible for you. Okay, for you to achieve. Like this, the same way you believe that the sun is coming up tomorrow. It's not about hoping. It's not about wishing. It's about knowing. Okay? Know that you will succeed. Because a lot of people are deeply convicted in their doubts, like supremely confident that they cannot do something. Flip that. Okay? Flip that around. Hold your vision with that same certainty, and then watch how differently you show up. Okay, and if you feel like you are too old or too young or too this or too that, then find something or find someone who's older than you who is in great shape. Okay, and if you feel like you're too busy, find someone who is busier than you who is in great shape. And if you tried many times before and you didn't succeed, then hire a mentor who has worked with other guys like you and who has a mentor who has a proven system and a long track record and who offers a results or money back guarantee like we do, right? Because you can actually buy this conviction. Okay, if you don't have it yourself because you've messed up in the past, no worries. Find someone who can help you. All right. Rule number 3, action over perfection. Perfection is the lowest standards. It's a lazy excuse used by losers who are trying to justify to themselves why they don't get started. I do it perfect or not at all, right? Have you heard of this before? I'm waiting until the summer is over, until the vacation is over. I'm waiting until the kids are out of the house or out of college and the house is renovated. Forget about that. This was exactly me before I realized that it's a mechanism for staying stuck. Okay, it's a recipe for disaster. It will never get you anywhere. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every day of the week. Okay? I used to wait until conditions are ideal, until everything is good enough, until I feel ready. And then I realized I gotta act before I'm ready. If you look at every achievement in your life, right, whether that's raising kids or building the business or whatever that is, you started before you were ready and you did it anyways. And then you made mistakes and you course corrected and you grew and you learned, right? No one starts perfect. Forget about that, okay? It will also never be perfect. My podcast isn't perfect. My business isn't perfect. My body and my marriage are also not perfect, right? I make mistakes all the time. But I keep moving and I keep getting better because, again, action beats inaction every time. And even if it's messy, even if it feels like overwhelming, go, go, go. Okay, start anyways. Because the lie that everybody tells you is you gotta wait until you feel motivated to take action. And then because of you taking action, you get results. And then because of the results, you feel more motivation. And then, right, so you're in this positive cycle. This is a bullshit. It starts with action. The cycle starts with action because it's not like the motivation doesn't fall from the sky. The motivation comes from results and results comes from action. Okay. So take action now. Even when you don't feel ready, or especially if you don't feel ready, that's a good sign, right? If you're afraid to do something, this points you in the right direction. It points you out of your comfort zone, okay? And you deep inside, you already know this. Then rule number 4, commitment to mastery over entitlement. And this one is important because the mindset work and the work on your self-identity, the visualization, the goal setting, the positive thinking, it's all real and it's scientifically proven. Okay, I believe in this and it really, really matters. And it's not about me believing in this. This is science, right? I didn't make this up. Do your research. But it doesn't replace the reps because if you visualize being elite at something for 6 months and someone else has been doing the actual work for 6 months, like who do you think gets a better results, right? There's no shortcut around getting your reps in, getting your hands dirty and getting your feet wet. And that's also that also means that the guy who's been consistently doing the right things for 3 years is probably further ahead than someone doing the same things for only 1 year, right? Time is by your side as soon as you fall in love with the process. Okay, so keep going, don't stop. That's probably my only advantage, that I've been doing this for over 10 years now, showing up for myself. I'm doing nothing extreme. I still have my favorite foods. I still drink beer. I still drink wine, going out for date nights, going out and experience new restaurants with my wife, with friends, with family. I just show up consistently at the gym, track my calories, track my protein, or have an idea of it. I don't do this all year round, but when I'm in a fat loss phase, I do track my calories. Okay, that doesn't mean that you have to. We have ways around that if tracking calories is not for you. But the earlier you start, the sooner you get to enjoy the results. That is the message here. And I've talked to hundreds of executives over the years who expected that just because they understood the concept intellectually, and they've transferred us some money, that they would get the results without putting in the hours. This is mental masturbation, my friend. Okay, this is called entitlement, and entitlement is a thing that you will that will snatch your goal away faster than external obstacles ever could. Okay, so commit to mastery and earn it. The law of gestation doesn't respond to deserve, it responds to earn. Okay, this is how life works. And then rule number 5, be pulled by purpose instead of being pushed by discipline. Discipline and hustle can get you somewhere, okay? I'm not saying that you should be undisciplined, but the person who is generally compelled, like who loves what they are building and can't imagine doing anything else, they will always outlast the person who is grinding through something that they don't really want, okay? And if you can't find the pull, no, let's put it this way. If you can find the pull, the timeline stops mattering the way it used to, okay? You're not watching your clock. You're not like waiting, when is this finally over? When can I eat normal again, right? You're just doing the work and you have a smile on your face. And fitness and business and marriage and these kind of things, raising kids, they are infinite games. No one will ever hand you any trophies, okay? The only goal here is to keep playing, and being in the game means you are winning, okay? There are no winners and no losers. It's all about keep playing, my friend. Keep playing, never give up. That's really the whole thing. And the law of gestation is real, okay? Your goal is a seed. It will become what it's meant to become in the time that it's meant to take. But only if you keep watering it, protect the environment, right? Protect the seed, provide the sunshine, provide the right earth, the right ground where your goals can flourish. And if you commit to the process, regardless of what the evidence might look like today, okay? And my challenge to you is, listen to these rules again. Audit your environment, get clear on what you're planting, okay? And then go all in with the understanding that it will happen if you're relentless, and it won't happen if you let entitlement convince you that you've already waited long enough, okay? That's it. This episode resonated with you, then do me a favor and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't left a review on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, wherever you listen or watch, listen to this or watch this, then that's the single best way to help this show reach more people. I read every one of the reviews, and I genuinely appreciate it. So that's it for this week. I see you next week. Bye.